So, you're struggling to win any of your PvP games. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 10 simple tips to become a better PvP player. Starting off with the first tip being keep your blue allays busy. I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me where mid to late game my team has randomly ran out of resources, and that's just because we've stopped collecting resources and using our blue allays. You should always keep your blue allays busy. Seriously, it takes less than 10 seconds to set a blue allay down and gather some resources. Now, on to tip number 2 being at the beginning of a game, you should find what role you are. Personally, I have classified there being 4 roles in Minecraft Legends PvP mode. You have the Scout, the Base Builder, the Attacker, and the Prismarine Gatherer. At the beginning of a game, you need to find out which role you are. I will go in depth a little bit later on as to what these roles actually do, but for now, you need to find out which role you are. Let's say at the beginning of the game you see somebody running off into the forest. That probably means that they are the Scout. Somebody's hanging back and building walls around your main fountain, then they are the Base Builder. And you see your Prismarine account going up, so somebody is at a piglin's base gathering Prismarine. Well, that means you should take up the role as the Attacker. You should try and find your role at the beginning of the game. So now let's actually talk about these roles and what they do, starting with the Scout role. The Scout role's job is at the beginning of the game, it needs to go and scout out the land by pinging biomes to let their teammates know what is close and around them. But what the actual role of the Scout is it's more just supposed to be there to help out the other teammates. For instance, maybe the enemy has come and started attacking the Prismarine Gatherer. Well, it should then go and help the Prismarine Gatherer take down the enemy. It should really just kind of be there ready to help, so when a problem occurs, it is there to help fix it. Then you have the Base Builder role, and as the name implies, this player's main job is to build up the base. It should build defenses to protect the base, but also focus on building the upgrades to upgrade your team. And at no point in time should it have to leave the base. This player should stay at the base at all times to protect it from the enemy and to constantly upgrade the base's defenses. Now, next up, we have the role of the Prismarine Gatherer, and this role is probably the simplest because all you need to do is constantly gather Prismarine for your team. If you do not know how to gather Prismarine in the PvP mode, all you have to do is destroy the piglins' structures at the piglins' bases, and this task is quite a simple one. Once you find a piglin base and get to it, all you really need is about 10, maybe 15 cobblestone golems, and they will get the job done easily. But be mindful, as you do need to be quite close to the building that the cobblestone golems just destroyed to actually gather the Prismarine. You can't have them destroy a building and you be far away from it. You won't gather the Prismarine if you are. So just be mindful of that and you'll be fine. And last but not least, you have the Attacker role, and the Attacker's job really is to just keep annoying the enemy until the rest of your team is ready to do a full-on attack to the enemy base. Now, the whole point of this role is to constantly annoy and attack the enemy so they have to deal with you, which gives your team more time to upgrade and the enemy team less time to upgrade because they are constantly dealing with you. Now, just before we move on, I do want to quickly say this was very brief summaries of these roles, and I do plan on making full-length videos explaining these roles in greater details. So, if you have any questions about these roles, please let me know down in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. So with that said and done, let's move on to the next tip being don't spawn mobs at your home base. Keep the Flames of Creation free for the Prismarine Gatherer and especially the Attacker. Trust me when I say it is so annoying when the Base Builder spawns a ton of mobs at the home base and then fills up the max capacity of troops you can have, and then the Attacker can't spawn any troops to keep that constant pressure on the enemy. If you are the Base Builder, keep the base clean of troops. What you can do though is build a spawner in the base, because if the base is then under attack, what you can do is go to that spawner and recall all of the troops that your team has on the map, because it's definitely more important to get rid of everybody's troops to then defend your base, of course. But if your base isn't under attack, don't spawn troops at your home base. Keep the Flames of Creation free for the attacker and Prismarine gatherer, as they need the troops more than you do. So this next tip is for the base builder, and that is you don't need to build every upgrade. Each and every game is going to be different from your last one, and if you end up being the base builder, then you should try and have a look around the map and what your team is doing and decide which upgrades you think will be useful to help defeat the enemy, because in a few cases there will be some upgrades that you probably don't even need. For example, if you have a jungle right next to your base, then you should build the redstone upgrade structure, but maybe a tundra is right next or behind the enemy's base, so it might not even be worth building the diamond upgrade structure, because it will be really difficult to get those resources, and it would be better to save onto the Prismarine to build an upgrade that will help you do something else. So the tip here is you don't need to build every upgrade. Just because it has the name upgrade in it doesn't mean it will actually be a helpful upgrade. And the next tip we have is don't waste resources. Trust me, it is super annoying when you're trying to accomplish something and realize you don't have enough resources just because one person went and took all the resources and pretty much wasted them. Be mindful of your teammates, that they too need resources to accomplish what they're doing. So try your best not to hog one resource all for yourself, and to at least leave some for your other teammates. So please remember, this is a team game and not a solo game. And our last tip for the day is be flexible in your strategy. Out of all the tips I have shared today, this is probably the most important one, is that you should be flexible in your strategy and be ready to change it at any point and time. Yes, you could have just spent the past 15 minutes gathering redstone to try and build a redstone TNT launcher, but you might find that you actually have a surplus of diamonds, and it would be much better to create a ton of skeletons to try and snipe off the enemy base. You must be flexible in your strategy, as that will probably be the key to victory in almost any game. But with that, there are all the tips I have for you today. If you did enjoy this video, please like and comment down below. Did you enjoy this video? Do you have any questions, or do you have any tips and tricks of your own? But with those final words said and done, see ya!